Guys, it's me. I'm back.
What's up, party people? We're like, Max, come on. No! All right, this show is taking a turn for the. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Monster Bass Live. I'm your host, Rick, and if this is your first time tuning in, we got an action-packed show that we think you're really going to like. We're unlike some other shows that you might be used to tuning into. We've got a live hotline, so we're going to turn that on in a little bit, and we're going to let you guys, call in, ask questions. Nothing is off topic. Nothing is out of bounds. You can ask me any question. We're here to talk about all things monster bass, but we're also here today with my guest, who we're going to bring on in a second, Jeremy Francis from Fishing the Lonestar. We're going to introduce you to him. We're going to ask him some questions, and you know what? Maybe you'll learn a few things about Jeremy that you didn't know from watching his other videos. It's been a big week for monster bass. I wonder if I can say this. I mean, I think I can. So those baits behind me, let me grab one here. So the Mad Max popper, I found out I was driving 2 days ago, and all of a sudden my text started blowing up, and I see Rafi's name, then I see Davies, and Rafi's and Davies, and it's going back and forth like 20 times. So I get where I'm going. I had to take my kid to his little scout meeting. What's up, James? And all of a sudden, I pull over to the side of the road and I look, and lo and behold, there's my bait on the cover of Bassin Magazine. Now, if you're not familiar with Bassin Magazine, they have like 300,000 issues. It's the largest circulated magazine specifically for bass fishing, and we didn't pay a penny to get on the cover. Normally, people pay like $40,000-$50,000 to get on the cover, and we made the cover. Not only did we make the cover, we made the inside fold. Both pages all about the new Mad Max popper, and it's their iCast product special. So this is like a really big thing for monster bass, and I got to say thank you to Brad Ewell from Bassin Magazine, and Davey and Rafi for all their efforts in making this happen. I'm truly honored, and it's a really big thing for us because we've never really, this is really kind of like our first product launch that we've done in a big way, and we've got 2 more coming, and we're really excited about it. So if you haven't checked these out, check them out. You can buy them at Walmart. You can buy them. We just got word today Tackle Direct's going to carry the entire line, so that's going to be exciting. And of course, we've got them on monsterbass.com, so check them out. And if you subscribe this month, it comes included in the box. So hook yourself up with a box from Monster Bass. You can use promo code SAVE10, save $10 off your first order, and you'll get this great bait. I promise you're not going to be disappointed. It's one of the best poppers out there, and we'll get to the story behind it. We do have an abbreviated show, so I'm going to jump right into Jeremy, only because we had a scheduling conflict. I'm going to be on another podcast at 5 o'clock today, so we're going to do golden tickets. We're going to do giveaways, all that fun stuff. The hotline will be open, but let's not waste any more time. If you like what you're seeing, and as we go through the show, do me a favor. I need the like button because everybody tells me I need more likes, and I need the subscribe, right? We'll keep you up to date with all things having to do with Monster Bass. We got a lot of great stuff going on, but let's get right to my guest. He's a longtime friend of the company. All around really good guy, and has a really great channel. If you haven't checked out his channel, I encourage you to. Let's give a big warm welcome to Jeremy Francis from Fishing the Lonestar. How's it going, man?
I'm great, Rick. Good to see you.
Good to see you too, man. Good to see you too. You're coming live from the boat cave.
That's right. I've got one over here, a little one over there, and a kayak over here. I've crammed as many toys as my wife will allow into the garage.
Nice. And so obviously that probably came with a cost of some kind. What does that cost you?
That's a great question. It actually, I will say it really didn't. I do believe marriage is all about the compromise, but my wife is truly an angel in disguise. So she tolerates way more than I deserve. So
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that for a minute. Marriage is all about compromise. I agree. So
yeah,
how long have you been married?
18 and a half years.
That's pretty good. Congratulations. How do you go about handling it when the two of you just don't agree on a topic? She's got an issue with something, you don't agree with it.
Yeah, so our two personalities, I'm the type that I would rather stick and stay and argue and hash it out.
Yeah.
I actually love to debate. Even if I don't even care what I'm arguing about, I'll still argue sometimes.
Sound like my son.
Whereas she'll just like slowly like just fade away into the other room and just like let it dissipate and not want to talk about it. So yeah, she does a much better job handling those situations than I do.
Interesting.
I will say opposites attract, but it is all about compromise. That I think that is a very good aspect of marriage. And a fun fact is we actually, I think I've shared this before, but we got married. I was 22, she was 21 the day after we graduated from college.
Yeah.
So
that's amazing. So, for those people out there that don't know, I find it hard to believe. You're getting ready to take a trip.
I am. I'm going to take a trip. I'm going to take the boat with me, and we're heading north to probably one of my least favorite states, but Oklahoma.
Ugh.
Yeah.
There's nothing good about that state. I don't care if you're Bob Stoops or OWA. It's all garbage.
Yeah, I actually lived there for 12 months.
I'm sorry.
And so I've experienced what Oklahoma has to offer. So yeah, I'm heading up to Oklahoma. OWA, Oklahoma's Worst Angler, who was on last week, continues to kind of run his mouth and chirp about fishing and
yeah.
So I said, all right, fine. I'll come to you. And we'll fish a lake that he fishes often, and we'll duke it out. And not only that, but Rick, but I want to make sure everyone else knows we're going to do most of it live Sunday morning on the Monster Bass Instagram channel. So it's going to be fun. Alex can't hide behind anything because a lot of it's going to be live.
That's so exciting. It's fun. It's time for him to put up or shut up. What is there anything on the line, or is this all about bragging rights?
He still hasn't told me if he's going to bring the belt or not. I think he, it was one of those situations where he won it one time and then he just doesn't want to challenge anyone again. So I don't know if he's going to bring the belt or not, but I am bringing a custom designed new Fishing the Lone Star hat. And if I win, he's going to have to wear that in his upcoming videos. So, and in fact, shout out to Mr. Wishing I Was Fishing. He's designed that hat for me. So,
and if we want to buy those, do you have one there you can show us?
It's in another room, so I can in a minute go get it if you'd like me to. I should have brought it out here with me. But yeah, I think it's just fishsocks.com is where you can at least buy the socks. If you're looking for the hats, just message me directly. We have a limited supply, but we will be making more.
There you go. Listen, if you want, I'm happy to put them on the site for you, and just like I do with Burley stuff in the warehouse, will fulfill them for you for free, and you don't have to do a thing. Make it easy for you.
Chris and I have already discussed that as an option, and I can tell you what will happen for sure. You and I have already talked about this, but not formalized. We will have Fishing the Lone Star shirts on the Monster Bass website very soon.
That's exciting. Good stuff. So,
my mom already said she'll buy one, so I know at least got one sold.
Well, thanks, Mom. I mean,
I know, right?
Right? She better pay full price.
Still, my dad still hasn't committed yet, but we'll see.
Well, dads are usually like that, right? Like my dad, even to this day, I think, my dad's been gone for quite some time. And I'm not even certain. Like, it's funny. I was sitting in the middle of a meeting, and all of a sudden I got this push notification from my bank. Oh, your updated FICO score. And so of course I clicked on it, and I'm like, oh, and it went to 849. Right now, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
And I was like,
yeah.
I sat back and I was like, there's no way my father could not be proud of me for that, right? Like, he's got to at least, even though he's in the grave, he's got to be like, because that was always the thing he'd always talk to me about was your credit is the most important thing you could ever have. And then, of course, I'm sitting in the meeting yesterday, and all of a sudden I get a notification on my thing. This is literally like 2 weeks later, and my credit had gone down to like 801 or something. And I'm like, how does this even happen? Like, anyway. So
we're gonna do some fishing Sunday morning.
Okay.
We're planning to set this up into 2 phases. So the first phase, the first portion of the morning will be top water, and I can't tell you enough how timely the Mad Max popper is in this time of year. And I've always touted in my videos and sharing about monster bass is just the specific how specific the baits come at certain times of the year, and how they're also structured for your particular area. And right now, even before I knew the Mad Max popper was coming out, if you've watched previous videos or seen posts on Instagram, etc., I've talked about how small the bait fish are right now, and bass are just chasing nothing but small bait. Now, I normally prefer to throw big baits. I love throwing bigger baits. I just, you're in Texas, go big or go home, right?
Sure.
But you have to cater to what the fish are eating, and right now they're eating small baits. And I've already caught several fish on the Mad Max popper, and I anticipate Sunday will be full of catches as well. So we're going to start in the morning top water. As the sun gets a little bit higher, if that bite dies off, then we'll transition to more of those moving baits, probably the boom boom swim bait, that back stick spinner bait, things like that. We'll transition right to moving baits a little bit later in the day.
Nice. What are your thoughts on crankbaits this time of year?
I think they're fantastic. I've got one tied on right now. I think both medium diving and shallow diving are both pretty darn spot on. And I've kind of mixed up right now in between the 1.5 size and like a 2.5 size, just depending upon the body of water and what fish are kind of chasing and biting. But yeah, it's a great time. I'm telling you, this past weekend, I was on Lake Louisville, which if anyone knows Lake Louisville in Dallas, it is a lake that this time last year, there was an Elite Open series. So Scott Martin, Brian Latimer, Brandon Polinick, all the main guys were here, and majority of them zeroed or only weighed in 1 or 2 fish. It is not that great of a lake, but I will tell you, this past weekend I was out there just camping with the family, went out early Saturday morning and caught, between myself and my co-angler, probably 10 to 12 fish in the first 3 to 4 hours of the morning. Wow. And all of them were within 5 feet of water. So bass are moving shallow already. It's awesome.
That's good to know.
Crankbait works perfectly for that setup.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I've been thinking about next month already. I know we're into this, we're just into this month and everyone's just getting their boxes, but I feel like next month I'm looking at a shallow diving crankbait that for your region that you haven't received before. I'm going to release a medium diving crankbait in next month's box. What else do I have planned? I have some really good things planned for next month, but I felt like, when I looked at when I think about the September, it's just that perfect time for a popper. It's almost in every region across the country. It's just one of those baits that, it's so good. I love topwater.
Yep. Yep. Couldn't agree more. I mean, topwater is a blast. The Mad Max popper is perfect right now. I love the colors, the color schemes you guys came out with. They've been great. Right now, I've been throwing the bone.
Yeah.
Kind of that more of a bone color.
Yeah.
And have caught some really good fish on it. And but I tell you, the hardest thing is there's so many good colors. It's hard to decide which one to use.
Well, I'll be honest. It's funny when it comes to the colors. So with a popper, so normally I pick all the colors. And I'm probably the wrong person to come out with the colors because I think about it and I'm like, all right, these are the ones that I know are going to sell really well because, you know, you got to have your shad pattern. You got to have like a sexy shad. So how can I make the sexy shad like a little bit different? Well, that's when I came up with the idea of like, let's crack it. And then let's like just do something a little bit different. And you know, the Mad Max Popper has 2 patterns that I didn't design. I can't stand them, but everybody loves them. And it shows you like, it just shows you how little I know, right? Like the 2 patterns that I think are the worst looking ones are the ones that I'm selling out of so quickly. And it's just really interesting. So.
Yeah, I think even as anglers, we all have our favorite colors and our favorite baits and kind of those confidence, you know, lures. And often I'm reminded and humbled often that I need to branch out more out of those comfort zones.
Yeah, well, I think that, you know, I mean, when I got into this industry, the Scott Martin made an impression on me, and he said something to me that stuck to this very day, right? And he's like, you look at most of the pros, right? And you've got guys like what's his name? Jason Lambert. Jason Lambert is probably one of the best ledge tournament anglers on the planet. If there's a tournament where you can fish ledges, he's probably going to win. Take him out of his comfort zone, he's hit or miss. And then you look at someone like a Scott Martin, who's just, you know, he said you got to get really consistent, or you got to get really comfortable trying different techniques because you never know what the water's going to throw at you. And,
sure.
And so, yeah, that's where I think, you know, trying new things really comes into play. And that's where a channel like yours, you know, besides just watching and having a good time, I can learn a few things and, you know, hopefully gain confidence using something that I haven't used before.
Yeah, I think that's where when I can, I try to get. Yeah, I love fishing. Obviously, the lakes around me. When I can, you know, I go into Oklahoma this summer. I went to Arkansas. I've fished earlier this summer as well in Virginia. So going to different regions as well helps to understand how bass are acting differently in those areas. Helps you understand too. Around here, there's some lakes that are just nothing but grass, but then you have other lakes that have no grass.
Yeah.
You have some lakes that are mainly timber, some lakes that are just hard bottom and rock, and bass do different things in all those different scenarios. So it definitely challenges you, and I do believe as anglers you should kind of branch out around and challenge yourself. I remember when we first started working together, Rick, I was almost exclusively using the Roadrunner that came in one of the boxes.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I was catching so many fish on the Roadrunner. It was almost like too easy. And I told myself, like, I got to quit using this because, like, I'm so narrow focused. It worked extremely well. And everyone's like, why would you stop using a bait that works so well? And it's like, well, because I want to be good at all of it, not just one thing.
Totally. Mr. Bass asked a question if we had a black version of it. And I don't know if that's black enough for you. It's got a splash of pink, obviously, on the head, and it's got some gold flake, but maybe that's what you're looking for. I don't know.
That sparkle is great.
Yeah. One of the things I've tried to do, right? Like I've tried to take a play out of, I think about bait brands that are entering the industry and what makes them new and unique, right? So I think if we have a good bait, I want to make sure that we don't skimp on any of the components. So, whether it's putting BKK hooks on them or the paint. Like I try to make the paint, my goal is to try and touch it at least 2 more times than a typical bait company does, because that's how a lot of the pricing comes down, to how many times they have to touch it. And even things like, this one where I'm putting red and gold flake on it, it's just something a little extra that I want to add to it, because I want people to look at them and be like, these are good baits. I don't want them to think that, like, we're just selling out and here's your sexy shad pattern, here's your gizzard shad pattern. I want people to look at them, make it go toe to toe with any others. And, I think as we progress, we'll get better and better. So,
one thing that I really like about this bait, and I will say Alex, Oklahoma Source Angler, did a really good video on his own channel just recently reviewing the Mad Max Popper. So I will give him a little bit of credit. But one thing that I have noticed so far in using it is the way the lip's designed. On just a straight, quick pop, the water spits directly in front of it, but also like not like out in a spray, but directly in front. And it really mimics like if a bait was on the top of the water flickering, and that water shooting off the mouth mimics that flickering of bait fish really well. It's a great design, really is.
Well, a lot of people don't know, right? Like, so 2 years ago this month, we sent out the first Mad Max popper, and literally we sent it out. We surveyed every customer afterwards, and we took all their feedback. We compiled it all. We took the top like 5, not complaints, but 5 most common pieces of feedback, and we incorporated it into this. So if you take a look at the first version to this version, the body shape is similar. Eyes are a little different. I think the mouth is a little bit different. The rattles are definitely different. The lips are, the hooks are different. We incorporated user feedback into this, and we're going to do that going forward with every Monster Bass product that we release. So it'll come out. I'm going to survey everybody, and then the next time it comes out, it'll be because of the feedback that our subscribers have provided. I think I liken it to the largest crowdsourced product testing program on the planet. And I think that's because, why get in a room, me and 10 pros or whoever, if I can give it to 5,000 people or 10,000 people, I feel like that's something that's pretty cool and just a cool thing to be a part of.
Well, I don't know if I've ever given you this feedback, but from the very beginning, one thing I was really impressed with was just your openness to at the time it was Instagram lives, but to go live with people and just be transparent about, the industry, the business, like things that were happening, not only successes, but also things that maybe didn't go well with a certain bait order. I think that transparency goes a long ways. I know I've appreciated it.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword, I'll be honest, Jeremy, because like I take everything so personally. Like, I respect everyone's opinion, but like when someone when someone compares my box to someone else's and they don't do an honest apples to apples comparison, I lose my mind. Like I've typed an email 5 times today and I haven't hit send because I'm like, do I get into this fight? Do I not get into this fight? Like, how can you compare the 2 boxes when you're talking about this you're talking about a bait in my box, and you're saying that, well, it's 3 years old, so I must have gotten it on overstock. And then you compare it to another box, and you're talking about a bait that's 6 years old, and you say nothing negative about it. You don't say it's overstock. You're just talking about this bait because you don't know. Or you're talking about this product that, well, it's a good brand name. But wait a minute, you're holding a discontinued color that they bought at overstock, and I'm giving you something that's not discontinued. Like, it's all that stuff that, because I take it so personally, it's so hard because, anyway.
I think it shows though. I think people see it. I think people see the difference. I know I have.
Thank you.
So in the spirit of transparency though, this might be a good time to break for a golden ticket pool. Great. Because I've pulled a total rookie mistake, and I need to go get a phone charger.
Go for it. I'm going to pull some golden tickets right now, and you take your time.
Give me 2 minutes.
You can have 5 minutes. You can do whatever you want. You're the boss.
All right.
All right. So, I apologize today. So it is Yom Kippur, which means Rafi is not here. I don't believe managing. He's having a day with his family, and so we want him to take that time and celebrate the holiday. However, you choose to celebrate that holiday. Let's do some golden tickets. Let's open up the line. So if you guys have questions, call in. We're going to be in and out in another 30 minutes, so this is going to be a short one today. I got 5 questions for Jeremy. If you got questions, line them up. We'll go through them. All right, the first golden ticket is G8469E498. Let's do another one, X2502U6120. If you've got either one of these numbers, email marketing@monsterbass.com. Take a picture of you and the ticket so I can know that you've got it, and we'll go from there. We'll get you some stuff. Rafi's actually on this. Well, hello, Rafi. So, I didn't know you were on there. So it's been a really interesting week, because, we dropped the Mad Max popper. We made the cover of Bass Magazine. I got word today Tackle Direct's going to carry the entire line. I was on a call with Walmart about, 1,000 1,000 locations across the country, or however many locations are going to carry the products. It's pretty good. So we'll see that. Frank's Fishing. I've been a subscriber since day one. I never got a bad box, only a couple baits. I hate it, but it's going to happen. Pretty much all the stuff I've enjoyed. You know what, Frank? I agree with you. Listen, I can't make you happy 100% of the time. I just can't, because what you like is going to be different than what I like. My job is to try and pick baits that are appropriate for where you live, from the most well-known brands, but I also want to introduce you to some brands that you may never have heard of, like Super K. Super K makes killer jigs. Nobody outside of Wisconsin and Michigan, you know, that area knows who they are, but they make quality product. And I think being able to learn about brands like that is what's really cool about this. Because if you just want Strike King, just go to your favorite tackle shop and pick up Strike King all day. It's nice to have Strike King in the box, but it's also nice to have some other brands. And as long as I remain true to the, I don't know, call it the 80-20 rule. 80% of the baits are from brands you've heard of, and 20% of the brands I'm introducing you to. Sometimes we're going to hit a home run, and the product's going to be amazing. And sometimes, listen, there's one brand that I put in the box that is never going to go back into the box. They were in the box this month. I'll call it out. Fat Bastard Frogs won't be in the box unless I see something different, because I think that there must be some inconsistencies in the manufacturing, because like I've tested the products and it's great, but I can't take your feedback. Or I mean, I got to take your feedback for what it is. I keep hearing inconsistencies in terms of the results. So because of that, I'll never put it in, but listen, anyway, what else? Oh, Jeremy's back.
Hey, along those lines, let me address that really quickly. I did a video about this a little while back.
Yeah.
About just, you know, subscription box. I think the title of the video is Monster Bass Worth It. And I remember in April of 2020 was the very first time you put Blitz lures into a box. And I had never heard of Blitz lures before. Didn't know the company, didn't know what they made. And I remember I was sitting over here in my garage. I remember doing the video and the unboxing. And when I pulled the frog out, it was a margarita color frog. I almost didn't even take it out of the package, because in my mind I was thinking, like, I've never heard of this company.
Right.
You know, what is this frog? Like, I've got other frogs. You know, the big name companies that make the big name frogs you've heard of before. Like, I use those. You know, quite honestly, I don't usually catch a lot of frogs anyways, because the hookup ratio isn't great. So, like, I'll just show this to you and then, you know, not even open it. I will say that I'm glad I did, because on camera, I remember opening the frog and my immediate thoughts were like, oh, wow. Because I've got it here. I mean, it stays tied on. I never almost take this frog off the rod or even off the deck of my boat. But it is, you know, quick plug for Blitz Lures. But this frog, and I, you know, attribute it all to Monster Bass, because I would have never heard of this frog. But the way the hooks are angled, the softness of the plastic, the way the bottom of it is keeled on the bottom like a boat, so it rocks and walks side to side extremely well. I've got every color, including the new one they just released. And I will say that this lure, and another quick example too, you're gonna laugh at this one. I had never heard of Egg Zone lures until it came in one of the boxes, the Ned Zone. And I think you know my relationship with Egg Zone now.
Yeah. Yeah, we just we are in discussions with Jim about 2022. My goal is I'm going to release a video on what I want to do for 2022, but I would like to see X Zone in the box every single month between March and November of next year, in some capacity, with new baits, new colors, exclusive colors. I want to go really deep with X Zone, because I think they make tremendous baits. I think Jim and his family run a really good company. I think they've got a great story, and you know, they focus on creating quality product that I think, you know, I think with the help of Monster Bass, I think with the help of Brandon Polinick, I think, you know, it's becoming a bigger name that people are really starting to look at as, you know, one of the better soft plastic companies out there.
Yeah, and here's the deal. Like, I don't know that many people know this. I made an Instagram story about this earlier jokingly, but A lot of people think that I fish every day. They think that I'm on the water every day or multiple times a week. I'm not exaggerating or joking when I say I fish 1 day a week for about 5 hours or so, somewhere in there. And so my point to that is I don't fish and use stuff that doesn't work. I don't have time to. I don't have time to spend on things that aren't going to catch fish. So, I mean, I truly find things that work. Luckily, Monster Basketball introduces me to things that I probably wouldn't have tried. But I did try them, and I didn't love them. I'm introduced to new things that get me out of my comfort zone, make me a better angler. Sure. And overall, though, like I don't promote things that don't work. I don't have time for it. So that's not to sound like rude or brass. It's just the truth. Like I need to be as productive as I can in those 5 to 6 hours per week when I'm on the water. So
I get it. I think I saw your Instagram story this morning about just talking about that. Like I'm not going fishing. I'm not.
I wish.
Yeah.
I wish. All right. So here's the hat that Alex is gonna have to wear.
I like that
when he loses. So
I like that.
Nice camo, trucker
like
style. Yeah. Pretty cool. So
I love it. I love it. Let's. What do you say we open up the phone lines and take a couple calls? We've had two people on here that. God, I'm nervous.
I know one person's at work, so he better not be calling in.
He's not. There's one person I'm nervous about. I have a feeling. I'm gonna guess at who this is. Let's take that number 3. Go ahead. Let's take it. I have a feeling he's gonna let me have it.
You?
Hello.
Hey, Rick.
Yeah.
Hey, Jerry.
Yes, sir.
How y'all doing?
Good. How are you, man?
Hey, man, I'm good. All right, before I get into a question, I want to ask you a question, Rick, about I had to cancel my card because someone was trying to steal, right?
Okay.
So I want to keep getting the bag, but I talked to I text technical support, but they're not getting back with me and explain what I have to do to upgrade my card. So can you help me out with that?
Sure. So you ready to read? If you just want to read your card to me right now, I'll be happy to. No, I'm just kidding. Here's what you do.
Well, it want to work, but I ain't get the card in the mail yet. So
okay. So when you get the card, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna contact support. Okay. And let me think here. Here's what you're gonna do. You're going to email me at rick@monsterbass.com when the card comes, and you're going to give me your phone number. I'm going to call you up.
Okay.
I'll log in, or I'll pass it over to Bethany, who's smarter than me, and she knows better how to handle this. One of the two of us will update your record on file with the new credit card information, and we'll make sure you don't miss a beat. Sound good?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was waiting to hear, something like that.
Right. We got you.
That's fine. So once I get the card, I'll put you in, and yeah, that's cool. Cause I don't want to miss out.
I don't want you to miss out either. You got a question for Jeremy?
Yeah, hey, Jeremy. You ever fish Lake Lanier?
I have not. Would love to sometime, but I have not. Tell me about it. How's it set up?
Well, I got a tournament coming up this next weekend with the super tournament with the Bulldog Division Southeastern. And I'm going to use, Rick did a great job. All the stuff that is in that bag is good for a clear lake. So hopefully I can win with them baits there. But I was hoping that you fish it and give me some type of insight. So I'm going to practice. I'm going to go down there the day before the tournament and practice. But what I'm going to do, the bag that I got for September, them the baits I'm going to use. Every single one of them.
What region is that, Rick?
Georgia.
So is that considered
that's
south?
Southeastern.
Yeah. So here's what I might suggest. What do you say? Our next caller is actually in East Dublin, Georgia. Why don't we ask him what his thoughts are on what you might want to be throwing this time of year?
When you need that kicker fish, though, go with the boom boom swim bait, no doubt.
Wait a minute, say that again. I didn't hear you.
Yeah, when you need that kicker fish for your tournament, go with the Boom Boom swim bait. Slow retrieve,
Okay.
and hang on.
Uh-huh.
In a clear body of water, those fish can see for a long ways. So you don't necessarily need rattles. You don't need a whole lot of like underspins. You don't need a whole lot of flash because fish can see already. So you want to go as natural as possible. That Boom Boom swim bait is a great natural bait for a clear body water.
Right, because what I'm saying is it's dominant spotted bass in that lake.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a lot of schooling. I was thinking if my boat can get us around a lot of points, we might can be all right.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Listen, thanks for calling. I'm going to get the next caller, and we're going to ask him what he would throw on Lake Lanier. Sound good?
Okay, now hit me with that that website again, Rick. What now? Rick MonsterBass.
Rick at monsterbass.com.
Okay, got you. All right.
I got you, man. I got you.
All right.
All right.
I appreciate it.
You got it, man. Thank you. All right, let's go to Brendan and let's find out what he might throw. Go ahead, Brendan. What's going on, bro?
Hello, Rick. Hello, Jeremy, and whoever else is behind the camera. How is everybody doing?
We're good, man.
Fantastic.
Good.
What would you
I do
throw
have
on Lake
for
Lanier?
Jeremy.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So on Lake Lanier, so I don't know if the caller is still listening or not, but half of the fish go deep and half of the fish go shallow. It's just right after the spawn, they usually split off. The bigger ones go deep. Usually the smaller ones go shallow, and they're going to be dirt shallow right now. So right up under those shade lines, under those docks, under overhanging tree limbs, you're going to want to throw like Texas rigged creature baits. You want to throw weightless Stankos under there. You can throw swim jigs. If the water is kind of dirty and the sky is cloudy and there's not much light coming through, you might want to go with a chatterbait. The Mini Max, I believe, just came out from Z-Man. That's a great one that you can throw down there because it's very small and compact, and you can really get it in and out of different cover. And then for the deep fish, I would recommend throwing like a deep diving crankbait, something with a little bit more subtle rattle, nothing like crazy loud. That's what I would personally throw. And then, of course, Jeremy said the Optimum Baits Boom Boom Swim Bait. That's another great one. I haven't really had much time to play around with that. And but yeah. And then in the mornings, you can go with topwater, like topwater frog or a popper, like Mad Max popper that you get in your MONSTERBASS bag. But that's pretty much what I would be fishing. If I wanted to go big for big fish, I would throw like a silent deep diving crankbait. But that's what I would throw.
There you go. All right. Well, why don't we move on to your question for Jeremy? What do you got for him?
Okay. So Jeremy, I don't know if you've ever owned a Megabass rod before. Have you?
A Megabass rod?
Yeah.
I have not. No.
It's out of my price range.
Okay.
I've owned plenty of rods designed by G. Loomis.
Those are pricey.
Yeah.
But
which one was that? Like
well, particularly, a lot of the TFO rods are from kind of the same blend or lineup of manufacturer. So that's what I have now, probably most of the lineup of TFO rods is what I use now.
Yeah. Okay.
What are your thoughts?
Because I just ordered a Megabass rod. So I just ordered a Megabass rod, so I wanted to see if you had any like experience with them to see if they were any good or not.
Well, I mean, everything I know about Megabass is it's a very good quality. I think much like anything, I think the value is usually perceived by the person who's valuing it. What particularly did you buy it for, though? What's the rod like? Power, action.
I'm so sorry. I have to go. I'll be back in like 20, 30 minutes. I'm so sorry, guys.
All right. Well, you have a great day. All right. Bye.
You too.
All right. Bye. Well, that was interesting. I mean,
his phone may be about to die as well.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think with that, I should give away something else. Another golden ticket. And remember,
I'm getting mine ready.
if you don't have a golden ticket, you get it by subscribing to Monster Bass. Every month we put individually numbered tickets. You save them up and see if we call out your name. If we call out your name, you want a bunch of stuff. This is a prize pack worth a couple $100 worth of product. So let's go with A54. Actually, you know what we're going to do? I'm going to give away, I should give away like dinner with Rafi. You get to go over to Rafi's house, hang out with him and his kids, and have dinner with him. Golden ticket winner A5470A3322. You just won dinner with Rafi and his family. Or you can have what's behind door number 2, and that's a box full of baits. I don't know. We'll see. Hey, Rafi, let me ask you a question. Since I know you're watching, does your kid like you today, or are you in the doghouse? Whatever. Let's see. It's all right. Let's do this. Do we have any other calls right now? We don't. All right, Jeremy, we're gonna go to the speed round. We're gonna ask you some questions. So I went to social media today and asked some questions, and same random stuff, but I gotta ask them. What's your personal best?
8.01 pounds the very first time fishing a bass boat and the very first time at Lake Fork.
And what were you throwing?
I was throwing a creature bait, Texas rigged, on in and around some lily pads.
Dang.
Yep.
Your favorite?
I caught 2 fish all day, and at about 4 in the afternoon, hooked into that 3rd fish for the day and made it all worth it.
What's your favorite band?
Golly, I this is crazy. I don't really. I'll pick an artist. My favorite is probably Lecrae, but I don't really have a band per se. I'm not really a music guy.
Okay, I'll forgive that. Your bucket mouth lake would be?
Okeechobee, but I've fished it before twice, but I plan on going back every year. Love that lake. Love it.
Okay. If there was one that you haven't fished, though?
Probably Clear Lake. To get out to California, that's something I would love to do, go out there and fish.
I can make that happen.
Let's make it happen.
So I sent Rafi an email this week, and I told him I would like him to, in addition to our meetup in the St. Lawrence in October, I'd like him to schedule me 2 in Florida, one on the one on the East Coast with School of Fish, one on the West Coast with my good friend Will Burback, he's a great captain, and I would like him to have one in Texas. That you guys plan. I would like to have Rudd plan one. I don't care where, somewhere in his area of the woods, and one out at California with Nick. Yeah. And if you want to come out for that one, I will make sure that you're a part of that one so that you can come out and fish the Delta.
Let's make it happen.
2022. It's all on Rafi right now. So as soon as the holiday's over, he's going to get in on that, and let's get this thing rolling. So, because I'd love to see you out there. Make it happen. Who's your bucket list collaborator? If you could pick one person, I don't care if they're in fishing or not. Who would you want to go? What influencer or YouTuber would you want to go fishing with?
Yeah, I've always had a really good found respect for Justin Rackley. I feel like he's a good guy. I feel like he knows his stuff. I watched a lot of his videos to learn as I grew, and I feel like he would be. I feel like he's just a good person. So
amazing. Okay. No, Jared. He's not going to say Santa Claus. All right, let's. We got time for a couple more calls. You okay if we take a couple more calls before we?
Yeah.
All right, let's go with. Let's go with the next caller. Let's see who this is. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, thanks a lot. This is Jonathan from Fort Worth. How are y'all doing tonight?
Hey, close to home. Great, man.
Jeremy, where are you exactly?
I am north of Frisco.
Oh, awesome. Listen, I got a question for you. So I fish private club lake over in East Texas, pretty stained water, and I just recently bought a BFS reel. And I'm curious. I've never used it before. I haven't even strung it up yet. I'm curious. Have you fished any of the BFS stuff, and what your experience has been?
I have not fished their stuff, but what's the gear ratio?
Oh, so I got the Corrado, and it's got to be 8.2 to 1, I think is what it is.
Okay. No, I have not fished or used their stuff. I've used a lot of casting stuff when I first started, and I use a lot of Lou's reels now. I've used some of Boo Garcia stuff. The way I particularly cast and kind of, I don't know, my action of casting Lou's has just been something I've been able to dial in and really like their reels. I'm not partnered with him in any way, so that's not a plug. That's just kind of my personal, preference. But I've heard a lot of great things about those reels. My higher speed gear ratios that are in that range, I use either for like top water frogging or like a swim jig or even a Texas rig. And you think, well, why would you need a high-speed reel for a Texas rig? Well, because usually that bait's sitting on bottom, and as soon as that fish bites, you need to set the hook and get them moving your direction as quickly as possible and pick up ground. So I use a high-speed gear ratio usually for those applications.
So you're using like braid, 20, 30, 40-pound braid typically?
No, well, I use 17 to 20 pound fluorocarbon for almost everything except for top water, and I'll use braid for top water. 30 pound for like the Mad Max, my smaller top water lures, and then 50 to 65 for larger top water or frogging. Really depending on the thickness of the braid. Really depends on the thickness of the vegetation I'm throwing a frog around. But for everything else, I use 17 to 20 pound fluorocarbon here in Texas, just because you never want to hook into one and have it. Have your line be the reason why you don't catch your PB.
Last question, do you guide at all?
Good question. I get asked that often. I guess the answer is not really, but kinda. I love to, I try when I can to meet up with new people and fish all the time. I don't consider that a guided trip. I just consider that going out and having fun fishing. From a guide perspective, a lot of people don't realize that when you guide, you have to have additional insurance. From a liability perspective, you have to have a whole different license for fishing as well. And for me, I purely fish to get away from work and stress, not go fish, to be work. So maybe one day down the road, when I get closer to retiring, that would be a fun kind of retirement gig to guide. But as for now, I don't guide per se, but I love taking people out and going fishing and catching fish.
I hear that. So I might shoot you an invite, see if you might want to come out to our fishing club. Rick, love what you're doing. Keep doing it. Fantastic products. Love everything y'all do. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I really appreciate
Awesome,
it.
man.
Trying.
Good chatting with you.
All right. Well, that was good. Who else we got? Oh, we just dropped it. Okay. Well, we're coming up on the end. We got about 5 minutes left, right? Yeah, folks, it's a really interesting thing. Somehow, this is my fault. I double booked myself, and I agreed to be on a podcast. What's the podcast called? I can't even remember. This is how bad I am. Fins and Tails? I don't know. Anyways, I agreed to be on another podcast, and I agreed to it without looking at the calendar, and I didn't realize it was Thursday that I agreed to, so I'm such an idiot. Anyway.
Hey, one thing I want to share just with those viewing or listening, just a quick tip right now for this time of year. So I'm looking at my watch because today is a high of 91 degrees. All right. So that would make you think when you hear fall transition that it's not fall, it's 91 degrees. Depending upon where you're at, it's going to be cooler or even warmer. But The low overnight is 68. And so what you want to pay attention to right now, and the same thing applies when we're coming from winter into spring, you want to pay attention to the night temperatures as much as you're paying attention to the day temperatures, because those night temperatures will also lower the water temp overnight. And yeah, it warms up a couple more degrees during the day, but then if it's lower again, temperatures at night, then that water slowly gets lower and lower as the night temps get lower. So you may be looking at the day temps thinking, oh, it's not fall yet, but I can promise you, because I mean, it's hot here in Dallas, and I've been on lakes, and the water temps have already dropped 5-6 degrees because we've had a couple of nights in the 60s and low 70s. So it's happening, it's coming. Just pay attention to wherever you're at in the country. Pay attention to your overnight temps, because that will tell you if the water temp is getting lower, and therefore bait fish are moving shallow, and therefore bass are following it as well.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And of course, if I just subscribe to your channel, I'm going to get knowledge like that pretty much all the time, right?
I try, but it's stuff that I've learned from other guys as well. Nick is one of them. So, I always give credit where credit's due. I have been a student of the game. I can assure you I've watched more how-to videos than I would venture to guess more than anybody on YouTube to learn. I've been a true student of this game, and to get as good as I can, and to be as best angler as possible. Because again, I've got to make the most out of my 5 or 6 hours a week on the water as possible.
I get it. Well, listen, for everybody watching at home, you can see Jeremy go toe to toe with the worst one from Oklahoma this weekend live. And we'll see who's coming home with bragging rights or the title. I'm not sure what's up for grabs. Maybe Alex is a little bit nervous. Maybe he's a little bit scared. It's hard to say, He's had that belt for quite some time. And let's be honest. He won it fishing against Mikey Moser, who admittedly was so busy that month. He didn't have a chance to fish as much as he would have liked to. So we might want to think about putting an asterisk next to his title. But listen. He's got the belt, so for now, he's the champion. After this weekend, we'll get a chance, but you guys should follow along with Jeremy and OWA this weekend and see who comes out a winner. So
it's going to be fun, and we're going to do most of it live. So make sure you tune in as well to the live feed over on the Monster Bass Instagram channel. Hey, and two quick shameless plugs, Rick.
Yeah, of course.
I'm about to do 2 separate, I guess you can almost say, giveaways. One of them is going to be on the YouTube channel. I'm literally going through every bit of tackle that I own and getting rid of about 80% of it.
Wow.
And I kind of am in this mindset of, a lot of times we're in this mindset of scarcity, so we hang on to as much as we can in fear of not getting more later. And so, quite honestly, I'm just going to kind of trust in not only the confidence I have in the lures that I have at my disposal, provide other people with opportunity to use things that are just sitting around that I'm, hoping I'll make it to one day. I'm going to let it go and let other people catch fish with them, because, they're not catching fish just sitting here. So that's going to happen on the YouTube channel. And then on my Instagram page, this is pretty unique. I've never done this before, but my wife is running the New York City Marathon in about a month and a half. Now, she has never run a marathon before. In fact, she just started training like 2 months ago. So she's busting her rear to get in shape to run a marathon. But she's doing it all to raise money for adoptive families. So where my heart is for adoption, Rick. For those that don't know, I've got 2 daughters biologically and an adopted son. But we're funding her own race and airfare and hotel, everything else. So she's going straight to adoptive families. So what I'm going to do on Instagram is a silent auction where whoever basically bids the largest amount, and the only time you would pay anything is if you win, if you're the highest bidder, but you will win a trip to come fish with me on the lake of your choice in North Texas. We can make it Lake Fork, we can make wherever you want to make it, but I will take you and even one other person with you out on my boat for the day and go catch some fish. So that is going to be a silent auction I'm running on my Instagram page probably tomorrow or maybe Saturday. So stay tuned for that.
Would you make sure you send that information to Rafi so we can repost that for you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing.
No doubt.
Amazing. All right. Well, listen, Jeremy, as always, I really appreciate your time. Thanks for being with us. Hope you have a great weekend with OWA, and
It'll be fun.
it's been great. It's been great chatting with you for the last hour.
Always. I enjoyed it, Rick. Keep up the great work. Thanks for having me on.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right. Whew. Wow, that was great. I always like talking with good people. I think that I'm really fortunate enough. Like, we may not have the biggest team. I think we have the best. Like, we have really good people. Like, just solid human beings. That's what I like. All right, so folks, we got another golden ticket. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I know it's been a quick hour. Do me a favor, hit the like button for me, or the subscribe button, or both. That would make me feel really good. I've got another podcast to get to that you can tune into live on their YouTube channel. So let me give you the last golden ticket. We'll be back next week. I think it's with Fishing with Graham, so I'm kind of excited. The last golden ticket of the day. R10690M8481. If you won, make sure you hit us up at marketing@monsterbass.com. As always, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I am grateful and for your support and for everything that you bring to the Monster Bass community. It's what makes this truly special. So until next week, thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk with you later.